I think calorie counting is doomed to fail because we simply cannot account for every calorie coming in, and you cannot account for every calorie going out. My view on weight loss is that you have two steps you can take to lose weight. One is a step to deliberately lower insulin, and the other is a step to deliberately lower energy coming in, or to lower calories. Too often, we take the first step with the low calorie step. And people just start cutting fat because that's the most calorie dense food, and they keep their carbohydrates as the main part of their diet. If a person is starting this weight loss journey and they're already insulin resistant or diabetic and they have high insulin, if the first step is low calorie, David Ludwig and other labs have shown this too, that if you just lower calories but insulin is staying high, the total amount of energy available, or the calorie-rich molecules in the blood, drops. So total energy availability goes down, and that stimulates greater hunger. So if you try to lose weight where you're cutting calories but you're not addressing the high insulin, insulin wants to tell the body to store energy. So it's always pushing energy from the blood into cells. Well, the brain is uniquely suffering in that case because the brain doesn't have a lot of energy storage capacity. Unlike the liver, which can store a few thousand calories as energy or glucose. Unlike the fat cells, which can store hundreds of thousands of calories. Or even muscle, which can store some thousands of calories in total. They have a little bit of reserve so that if the energy in the blood goes down, they can rely on their own energy for a time. So combined with the fact that the brain has essentially no energy storage in itself, and the fact that the brain has a very, very high metabolic rate, it makes the brain very, very sensitive to analyzing. It's kind of the energy thermostat, the calorostat in the body, where if energy starts to go down, the brain panics. It senses that and will say, hey, I'm gonna start running out of energy. I have two pathways ahead of me. I either shut down because the energy isn't sufficient to maintain my current level of activity, in other words, lose consciousness, or I'm going to make us eat more, which is to say it increases hunger. And so if someone starts their weight loss journey without addressing the insulin, keeping insulin high, but cutting calories, then my worry is that that is doomed to failure because hunger will win. Hosting this beautiful buffet, and we've invited the world's best chefs to come prepare the most delicious foods. It is an all-you-can-eat. We want to invite our friends and family to come enjoy this with us. We would tell them, come hungry because you're going to want to try everything. What would be the two things our friends and family would do to come as hungry as possible? They would eat a little less in the days before the event, and they would probably exercise a little harder. Those are the two very pieces of advice that modern weight loss science is built on. Eat less, exercise more. And yes, it will put you into a caloric deficit. It will shrink your fat cells, but it will be a temporary win because the more you're cutting energy in the midst of keeping insulin elevated without addressing insulin, you will go hungry. And sure enough, in this case, it worked. They come to the buffet as hungry as possible. But the problem is if our weight loss strategy is built on those same ideas, hunger always wins.